Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is me from Progressive Model School, Main Campus, Peshawar Road, Rawalpindi. I am here for class 10th. My subject is chemistry. The chapter we were discussing was chapter number 9. On the last lecture, I have told you about the equilibrium constant and how to derive the units for equilibrium constant expression for different reactions. Today we are going to discuss the last topic, which is importance of equilibrium constant, that how the Kc expression is going to help us in various fields. So equilibrium constant for any reaction can be used to predict many important features of a reaction. For any chemical reaction, equilibrium constant can be used to determine various features. That it can be used to, number one, it can be used to determine the equilibrium concentration of equilibrium mixture. Knowing the initial concentration of reactants means, if we know the initial concentration of reactants when the reactants are just mixed to carry out the reaction, then after different intervals of time, when we know that now the reaction has reached its equilibrium state, we can easily determine the concentration of reactants and products at equilibrium. The second is, we can predict the direction of a chemical reaction. One can determine that in which direction the reaction is moving, either in the forward direction or in the reverse direction. Either the forward reaction is taking place or the reversible reaction is taking place, or the reaction is at equilibrium. Third is, predict the extent of a chemical reaction, means for how long does this equilibrium state is going to be established and for how much time this equilibrium will stay. Will this reaction at equilibrium is going to persist or not, or producing how much concentration of required amount of products. We can predict the effect of change in the conditions of chemical reaction. What these conditions can be on a chemical reaction? These conditions can be change in concentration, that can be change in pressure, the atmospheric pressure, temperature, or concentration of reactants or products. If we change any of these conditions on a chemical reaction when the reaction is at equilibrium state, then we can determine that how this reaction is going to behave and what type of effects are going to occur on the chemical equilibrium state of a reaction. And this importance of equilibrium constant is very much important in the field of industrial chemistry, as when the knowledge of this effect of changes in condition, that how several features or several variables are disturbing or affecting the chemical reaction when it is an equilibrium state, this is very important, and it helps industrial chemists to choose the conditions, to choose such type of conditions that are going to favor the desired products for themselves as much as possible, as they've always wanted to get the product in more concentration, in more quantity, within less time. So they used to design a chemical reaction, design such a medium in which they can get this greater amount of product within smaller time, within less time, that is going to cost them little and yields them a higher amount of product. So knowing about this effect of changes in conditions, that can be pressure, temperature, concentration, this is important in industries, as I have told you, and the same knowledge is going to use in industries for the production of ammonia. And the production of ammonia, the process through which the ammonia is produced, is known as the Haber process. Okay, Nitrogen and oxygen, they are the main gases of air. As we know that nitrogen is present almost 70% in the atmosphere, and oxygen is near about 20 to 21% in the air. And these gases are very important, and they're effectively converted in the large scale production of for many important chemicals. And the most important is ammonia. Ammonia is produced by the reaction of nitrogen with hydrogen. At what conditions? These conditions are at 400 degrees Celsius temperature, 200 atm pressure, that is 200 atmospheric pressure, and in the presence of a catalyst. The reaction is going to take place between nitrogen and hydrogen, which is a reversible reaction and produces ammonia. Here the presence of catalyst matters. Firstly, we know what is a catalyst. A catalyst is such a enzymatical chemical, or it is a chemical that just speeds up the rate of a reaction but is not utilized itself in a reaction. It reduces the energy of activation for a reaction. In this reaction, for the production of ammonia, where nitrogen and hydrogen are reacting together to give ammonia, iron is used as a catalyst. And this is just a reversible process and produces only 33% of ammonia at equilibrium. And generally this produces 33% ammonia at equilibrium. If we know, this is not as much good yield for an industrial chemist when he is setting up the reaction medium. He is not making his reactants and medium and maintaining the conditions for just the production of this 33% ammonia. So what is he going to do? If he knows the better knowledge, he have the better knowledge for this equilibrium constant and conditions, he is well aware of these conditions, and he is aware of the reaction conditions, that at what temperature, what conditions, which catalyst is going to favor this reaction. If he have all this knowledge, then he is able to get much amount of ammonia. Here high pressure is used to favor the formation of ammonia. When chemist knows that if we are going to change the pressure, if we are increasing the pressure, then the reaction is going to proceed in the forward direction and more of the amount of ammonia is going to produce. So it means they have the knowledge, they can predict the direction of a chemical reaction, and they can predict the change in condition on this chemical reaction, that if they are going to change the pressure, increasing pressure, what is going to happen? Is the production of ammonia is increasing, or the ammonia produced is going to decompose back into the original reactants. And then what happens when the pressure increases? The formation of ammonia takes place, and on cooling this equilibrium mixture, it is going to give us 98% ammonia, which is having a marked difference for the production. When we don't know the conditions, it gives only 33%, whereas when we have the knowledge of equilibrium constant and we are going to predict different conditions on this reaction medium, chemist is having the production increased, enhanced production of ammonia, that is 98%. Second is the production of sulfuric acid, which is also going to be very much important in industries. Sulfuric acid is produced on the large scale by the contact process, and the process through which this sulfuric acid is produced is known as contact process. For the production of sulfuric acid, what is going to happen? In this process, sulfur metal which is solid, is firstly going to react with oxygen to give sulfur dioxide. This is a complete reaction, not a reversible reaction. When this sulfur dioxide is produced, this sulfur dioxide is further oxidized, means it is further reacted with oxygen at 450 degrees Celsius temperature and 200 atmospheric pressure in the presence of a catalyst, which is platinum or vanadium pentoxide, that are acting as a catalyst. Again, what the catalyst is going to act here? The catalyst is not utilized in the reaction, but it is increasing the rate of reaction and reducing the energy of activation for this chemical reaction. Here what is happening? The sulfur dioxide is reacted with sulfur dioxide is reacted with oxygen gas and it produces sulfur trioxide. This is a reversible reaction. Here again the knowledge of an equilibrium constant is going to help in the production, that by the application of principles of chemical equilibrium, maximum amount of sulfur dioxide is converted into sulfur trioxide, and then sulfur trioxide is then converted into 100% pure sulfuric acid. If we are going to maintain this reaction and if we are going to get the better yield of sulfur trioxide, then this sulfur trioxide is easily converted into pure sulfuric acid with 100% yield. This is a reversible reaction. How we are going to get the better yield of sulfur dioxide? We can use, if we are constantly removing the amount of sulfur dioxide produced after every interval of time, the reaction is going to proceed in the forward direction as the concentration of product is decreasing because we are removing it at regular intervals. Then more of the reactants, that is sulfur dioxide and oxygen, are going to combine and produce sulfur trioxide. And how this sulfur trioxide is converted to sulfuric acid? This sulfur trioxide is reacted with water to produce sulfuric acid, which is very much important in different fields. This was the end of the topic, but after this topic there is an important society, technology and science, a side information block on your book, which is very much important. It has an important principle, that is Le Chatelier's principle, which states that if you impose a change in concentration, temperature or pressure on a chemical system at equilibrium, the system responds in a way that opposes a change. What does it mean? As you know that there are various reactions that do not go to completion. So such reactions, they are very economical on the large scale production for various chemicals. So science has progressed and science is able to deal with such reactions, and science is able to cope up with these reversible reactions and to get the maximum amount of products from these reversible reactions. So for that purpose, an important principle is stated, which says if you impose a change in concentration. Now what is going to meant by this principle? As I have told you that if we are going to remove constantly or after every several interval of time, we are constantly removing the product, that is sulfur trioxide, from the reaction medium, then what is going to happen? Then more of the sulfur dioxide and oxygen are going to react again to combine to produce sulfur trioxide. What is showing? We are changing the concentration of the product. Then this reaction medium is reacting in a way that is able to balance the condition, that is able to maintain the equilibrium state. And if we are going to change the pressure on this reaction, How we are going to change the pressure? That if the reaction is going to take place in a closed container, we are changing the lid of the medium or putting some weights on this, then pressure is going to increase. If this pressure is favorable for production of sulfur trioxide, then more of the sulfur trioxide is going to produce. And if this increased pressure is not favorable for this sulfur trioxide, then this sulfur trioxide is going to decompose into sulfur dioxide and oxygen. Similarly, if the temperature is increased or decreased, it depends that these reactants are favorable for the increased temperature or the product is favorable for the production of sulfur trioxide at increased temperature. So this is the way how the change in condition, that can be concentration, that can be temperature, pressure or volume, on a chemical system where a chemical reaction is taking place at equilibrium state. If you change any of the condition, then that reaction medium is able to balance the effect of that change, so that the applied change on a reaction medium is not able to disturb the equilibrium state of a chemical reaction, so that one can get the better yield of a reaction. Using this principle, maximum amount of ammonia and sulfur trioxide is obtained, and this Lee-Shattered principle has made the possible to get the maximum amount of products. What happens in different reaction, as you have studied the reaction of nitrogen with oxygen, nitrogen with hydrogen and sulfur with oxygen. First, what happens? Equilibrium is established in the presence of a catalyst in the minimum amount. Why in the minimum amount? Because the rate of the reaction is increased by the catalyst, and catalyst is not utilized itself but increased the rate of reaction and get a better yield. And then after increase, when equilibrium is established, then by increasing the pressure or decreasing the temperature, equilibrium can be shifted towards any of the direction whose production we want. If we want the more the concentration of reactants, original reactants, then we are going to change our reaction conditions according to our desire. In such conditions, they tend to increase or decrease the product, the required yield, which is important for a chemist that is designing such a huge experiment or designing a specific chemical reaction to get a maximum amount of yield. That can be 98%, that can be 100%. Now students, I think you are better able to understand what the chemical reactions are, how we are going to determine their concentration, how we are able to determine their units, what the term active mass means, how Kc expression is derived. Now what you have to do is read this chapter thoroughly, understand the concept and practice the derivation of Kc expression and determine the units for various reversible reactions, so that your concepts are betterly maintained. I hope it is all clear to you. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.